mid June, late June, June 26th, something like that. What it do,
Sir.
folks? What it do, huh? Montell Allen's right there, y'all. Where my point? Goodness, I'm already
Yeah,
tripping here.
yeah. It's
Montell
all good. It's all
Allen,
good.
Team No Sleep, Social Impact of Sport. We got a lot of things to talk about. Not even gonna mess around. We not even gonna mess around. We're gonna go ahead and get into it. But I know you're doing well because you're always doing well. So I mean that's a given. That's a given. Shouts out to the community coming in. We're gonna recognize the community right quick as they come in. We see Mr. Stark in the building. Appreciate you. He probably rocking some Team No Sleep gear because he got everything. Marvin did an order and bought everything in the store. I gotta send you your
That's what
cut.
I like to hear. There you
I
go,
gotta say,
Marv. I appreciate
I
that.
gotta send you
I
your
appreciate
cut,
it,
brother.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I say, seniors in the building, so the show is official right now. So let's go ahead and get into it. Social impact stories, what we normally start off with, and unfortunately, we're gonna start with some terrible news. And this right here, man, it's just a sad situation right here. So Roy Jones Jr., y'all old school cats like me and Montell, right? Who like boxing, real boxing, have seen Roy Jones put hands on people. But he had to announce to the world that his 32-year-old son, Deandre, ended his life on Saturday. And that's just not a call you ever, I guess, and again, never want to be in that situation. That's a call you don't want to make. That's not a situation that you want to be in. A parent having to tell the world that their son, their child, was so overwhelmed with whatever was going on that Deandre decided on Saturday afternoon to take his life. When you saw this story, man, I'm tired of talking about this stuff, but we got to talk about it because it's always in the news and someone has to talk about it because we got to get some action. But man, when you saw this story, come on, talk to me about this right here.
Well, I mean, the first thing, I mean, we end our show every show when I say check on your loved ones, right? Check on your loved ones, see how they're doing. Make sure they're okay. Check up on them. I think this is a prime example. This young man had to be going through something, right? And I'm pretty sure, I'm not saying Roy didn't have a close relationship with him or their family have a close relationship with him, but obviously this young man was going through something, and he had, he chose to take his own life. I think it's just so important for us to check up on our loved ones. Like, just give them a call or send them that text, or just let them know you're thinking about them. Anything to hopefully deter something like this from happening, because this is a life that we lost, an untimely loss. And my condolences go out to Roy Jones and his family. Um, it's loss of words. But anybody, before we even go any further, anybody know someone that's going through this, or you feel like you're going to commit suicide, please call the suicide hotline. You'll have to dial 988. It's not 911, 988 to get you right to someone to talk to hopefully help you talk you down, or at least somebody to listen to what's going on and give you an objective opinion, or just be that ear to listen to it. Hopefully you choose not to in your life, because I think people don't understand when they do that. It affects a lot more than they think. They think
Yeah,
it just. I'm assuming they think they're just going to affect them, that the pain will go away. But that one pain, or those pains you're feeling, is going to go away. Is going to exert a lot of pain to other people that cared and loved about you. So please just be aware of that before you decide to do anything.
yeah. I'm gonna ask this, and I'm gonna ask a challenging question for everyone. We see folks all over here on YouTube and over on Twitter and everywhere else that's chimed in, but can we blame somebody else? Can we blame folks in this circle? I don't know if blame is the right word, but can we put some responsibility on the folks in the circle? Right? Somebody had to see something. Somebody had to know something. Right? Someone had to have that inkling that, man, Deandre just not right. And again, just like you said, check in on you folks. But again, we're always around each other when it's time to go to the club. We're always around each other when it's time to go shopping, or when it's time to post pictures on Instagram and do all that thing. But late at night on a Tuesday, 11 o'clock at night, right when your homie is going through some things, does he have someone he can call? Are you that person that can actually see it in their eyes and know, I can look at Montell and say, man, something ain't right. Right. And you and I have actually had kind of a similar conversation before that we could just tell something was
Yeah,
off, and we took the onus to actually check in.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
I guess I keep asking. I'm asking you this, and asking the audience as well. Can we place some responsibility on the folks around as well?
I
And
don't
I
know
don't
if you
want to
could
place
place.
I want to place
Yeah,
onus on necessarily Roy Jones and the father and the siblings and the mother, but again his crew that he's with all the time. Somebody saw something with
yeah.
DeAndre.
I don't know if you placed. I don't know if blame is the right word. Like you said, blame may not be the right word. Just can we place the people on being aware, right? Being aware of the mood swings,
Hmm.
the depression. And let's be honest, man. Some people got a great way of masking it and hiding it. I'm not gonna say everybody can't see it. I think they said sometimes they always say the happiest person in the room is sometimes the most depressed. So that person putting on that cliche that they're happy, that they're okay, everything's going fine, and they may be the most depressed person in the room. So I think you got to pay more signs. I think you got to really check in, man, and talk to people. I don't know. We come to this era and this age where people don't like to talk to people, right? It's quick, and
Hmm.
I'm the first one to be to blame. I rather text. I text real quick, keep it moving, and do what I got to do. But I do believe, my wife eggs me all the time. You need to call. You need to call and talk to them. You need to, just hear their voice, see what's going on, because that one instance and that one moment of me taking that 1 minute out of my day could change the whole course of the other person's life, and vice versa. Also, vice versa for me, it can change the course of my life, right? See the other things. So I just think we got to be aware, and with social media and us distance ourselves from each other, because we distance ourselves from human contact all the time, right? We distance
True.
ourselves from friends. We don't go out as much. So with that distance, man, we got to feel that human connection, at least on the phone. And I think there are a lot of depressed people.
Yeah.
I look at depression a different way, though. Me personally, I look at depression a completely different way. Um, I feel I'm blessed to be depressed.
Mm.
And the
Talk
reason why I
about
say
that.
that, when I feel like I'm depressed or something like that, or I should say not blessed, I'm privileged to be depressed, because depression is a privilege, because I have to keep moving. I have to provide. I have mouths to feed. I have things I need to do. So if I'm ever in a time where I'm sitting there and I'm depressed, that means I got other action items I need to do. I shouldn't be in that situation no matter. My mind goes 1,000% all the time. So if I'm ever in a situation where I'm depressed, I'm sad about something, I'm like, hold on. I need to, let me change the course. I'm wired a little different. I just need to change the course, get myself busy, and get back on what I need to get going on. And that's included even as far as being depressed about something else, or being even to death. Someone dies in my family, I'm wired where I got, okay, let me get myself busy. I gotta get myself back on the road again and get ready to go. So I feel at least for me, it doesn't apply. I don't have the privilege of the time to be depressed. I don't. I have too many other things going on. And that's just me. That's me. I'm not speaking for anyone else except for Montell Allen. Other people though, I think, man, you got to check in on them, man. You do.
Yeah.
We're just in this box now so much, and that magnified with social media and scrutiny and people pointing the fingers and cancel culture and drugs, alcohol, and relationship, the things you're dealing in, the economy, how hard it is to live and struggle with. Man, that's a lot of bricks and a lot of weights on people, and they just don't know how to get out.
Is
And
it tougher today? And again, this is kind of again another old school cat talking, right? Is it tougher today with some of those things that you just mentioned, like social media, instant access to all this information all the time, um, even more challenging in the school system? I think for our kids, there is no grading on the curve. 4.0
yeah,
doesn't get you anywhere. You need a 5.6 point, right? With everything that's going on in society today, is it harder to be coming up at this time? I don't get. Hold on. As I say it out loud, I almost wonder, because again, he's 32. He was 32 years old, so he's not necessarily a teenager or 20-year-old, anything of that nature. I'm just. Is it to just exist? Is it
yes,
tougher today
yeah, yeah.
because of
I,
everything that we have available?
I think it's extremely harder. I think it's harder just for the pressure you get put on from the exterior, outside the walls, like outside your home. The pressures that are outside there to fit in and to be a part of something, and always be in tune to what's going on. I think it's tremendously hard for them to focus now. It's really hard to focus on doing what you got to do. And these kids nowadays, in that person's generation is 32, they really don't know how to accept failure. They don't. They've been taught to not accept failure and not how to handle failure. I shouldn't say not how to handle failure. This is the participation era, right? You participate, you get rewarded. I mean, and I'm being honest. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything to minimize anything.
No, that's true.
It's the participation era. If you participate, you get rewarded. You get rewarded. You don't. If you fail, you still get passed on to another grade. They promote you anyway. And then now you get to a point when you're an adult and you're facing failure. If you don't know how to deal with it, it's heavy. It's heavy to kind of go through because they haven't been taught. When we were younger, we learned what failure was, right? And we learned how to overcome it. Hey, you can't you ball. Guess what? You gonna stand here until you can hit it.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna hit it again and hit it again and hit it again until you can hit it no more. Till you know that you can do this. These kids nowadays, oh, it's okay, Johnny. You don't hit the ball. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll keep it going.
That's more detrimental, I think, honestly, to some of these psyche of these youngsters than anything else, than allowing them to fail, right?
Yes.
Holding them back, giving them criticism and giving them, as opposed to just feedback, giving them criticism. I mean, being real with folks. Right. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's what we seem to be lacking.
You know what's funny? Because we were talking about it before, like having an open, honest dialogue and critiquing someone. You can see it on the internet. You can hear it at work. You can hear it around people that you know. When young people get that criticism and it's not in a positive light, they get super duper upset. Yeah. They don't know how to handle it. They really don't. They have a hard time handling and understanding, why did I get this? Why is it negative? Why is X, Y, Z? Why is that going on? And me and you both know, those, like I shared with you, my philosophy in my mind, criticism, being critiqued, and feedback are nothing more than instructions to get you better. No one takes the time to do those things and express those things if they don't want you to become a better person or a better employee or better whatever you're doing. And if you take that criticism that way, then you can apply and operate it. You may not necessarily agree with it, but you can figure out to take what you can take out of those, apply those things, and make yourself better. I use it in my own kids. I even use it in my son that's in college now, and he hates it. He hates it when I get on him, when I tell him when he's not doing good, when I tell him he's doing things bad. He gets that. I can tell he gets that look, and his body language changes and all that good stuff. But I explain it to him as well that I'm telling you these things to make you better, not to make you worse. I'm not in here. That's not my job. My job is not to make you a worse player or make you do something that you're not good at. I'm telling you what you need to do in order to become successful. So you can take it from me or you take it from somebody else, but you got to be able to take instructions and feedback. You have to.
Yeah, you got to take it from somebody, because again, I mean, almost like we talked about last week. Yeah, parents can say it and it may go in one ear and out the other. Kids may not want to hear it. The pastor may say it and may go in and one out. The teacher may say it, but again, we talk about social impact of sport and how much sports kind of correlates to life. They're going to listen to coach. So of those 3, 4, 5 people, they're going to listen to coach. If you want to play, you're going to have the grades. You're going to have to be a decent citizen on campus, right? So you've got to have some wits about you. So I still think there is some onus that needs to be put on the folks around again. So that squad, that crew. So man, everyone take that action item.
I think the awareness, man. I really do. I think they got to be aware, and then when you're aware of the situation, then you got to take some ownership and some prowess and some action items to make those things don't happen. But I think you got to figure out how to be aware. You got to also understand the life of the party. No one's aware of the life of the party, right? If you're the big dog in there, no one's tripping on what you do. And I'm pretty sure Roy Jones' son was probably was wealthy, go to parties, his friends. I hate to say it, but a lot of them probably were leeches. Leeches as far as the financial situation. He's flying him and his boys here, or him and his boys when he goes to party, he's probably the one that's buying the bottles, or he's always paying for dinner. The person with the bag, they don't like to critique because they think the bag's going to be cut off. So their views on him are there, but cautiously when they respond. Right? They don't want to do anything to upset the person to make the person mad. Also, in that same ticket, though, you got to understand and recognize Is something going on or something wrong? I think someone has to be man enough in that crew to be able to ask that situation, right? You got to be, somebody in the crew got to stand up and be like, yo, man, we noticed you ain't been acting right, or is something wrong, or what's going on, and XYZ, and all these things. But when it's the bag, it's hard. I think it's a little bit harder to approach that because they feel like they may get mad or cut off. Me and you in our circle, you know, we all look at each other as pretty much equal, or we're just equal as friends, or we at least have that respect level that if something was wrong with you and I saw it, I'd be like, hey, James, what's going on, man? Is everything all right? You know, are you cool? And even if you masking it or not, I'll be like, man, you know, you sure? I'm just asking, man, because, you know, your aura's a little off. You sure you good? And then that right there may be enough or it may not be enough, but someone has to be step up in front of it. Now, take that same retrospect. Boss man is feeling that way. You notice about him. Do you comment on the boss? Do you comment on that friend that has everything, and the one you don't, the one you rolling with? You the sidekick and he's the main guy. Do you comment on that person? I think it's a little bit harder, but I think they need to be aware. And if you're a true friend, then you would say something, right? You would acknowledge it, and you would say, hey, is everything okay? Is everything all right?
Yeah.
My question would be to that whole situation, like, suicide is so weird, man, because we never know, right? They usually die. They don't even know. They just kind of do the, you know, they kill themselves. In whichever way they feel they do it in. The worst part of it all is the unknown, like why? What's the why?
Yeah.
And the speculation of why.
Yeah. What got you to that point? What got you to that
Yeah.
that full tilt from 0 to 100 to where you decided to do that? Because
Yeah.
it's premeditated. So again, you've thought about it, and again,
Yes.
and
So again,
I'll
anyone going through those depressions, anyone that needs somebody to talk to, please dial on your cell phone 988 and just blurt it all out to them. You know, there's a professional people that
yeah.
can listen, be that ear for you, and hopefully help you walk through whatever you're going through, man, to make everything okay. Because we don't, you know, this is not the story we like to talk about at all.
It's not the story, and knowing a third person removed, right? So we just know Roy Jones Jr. because we're fans of him, but you know, for a father to have to write these words right here, I know a lot of people are going through tough times right now, but nothing is worth taking your own life. God gives it, and God should be the one to take it away. When you have to write that because your 32-year-old son decided that they were just overwhelmed with something and no one could intervene, no one could help. I mean, that's a tough
Well,
it's a
I
tough
mean,
thing to do. That's
that's
tough.
the hard thing to do. And I know as a father, I'd be like, I'm wondering whatever he was going through. How come he couldn't come to
Hmm.
me about
Yeah. I think so.
it?
You know me, right? 'Cause I look at that part, right? I look
Yeah.
at that story behind the story and kind of that emotional side. So I mean, that's the part right there that I look at. But
No.
we wanted to lead
You
with
know,
that.
one more thing before we go on, and the crazy part is like, especially when you have all the financial means,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Roy Jones is a pretty wealthy boxer. He took care of his money. When you have all the financial aspects to be able to pay for a doctor, pay for rehab, pay for all these situations to help out, that just throws another layer of the mechanism right to just like why, you know, why would you do something like that? Why would that hurt? I don't know if anyone is a hip hop fan. Listen to Joyner Lucas. He has a song he talks about suicide, and he looks at it from both sides. He looks
Hmm.
at it from the side of the person that's committing suicide, and he looks at it from the person that's which is in the rap it's his cousin, and how he feels that the person that committed suicide is so selfish.
I'll put a link to that in the description so folks can check that out. That's dope.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Listen, let's move on to some other things. We're gonna stay kind of in same sports families for a number of the stories tonight, but we're gonna stay in boxing real quick and go on to this right here. I saw this video. Listen. I saw Tremaine Williams fight. I saw the fight. Tremaine Williams fell. He wasn't knocked out.
Collapse.
He because he
Yeah.
wasn't knocked out. He got hit.
Yeah.
Tremaine, so fight was happening this past Thursday here in California. Listen, they was fighting, they was going at it, they was doing the thing. 31-year-old Tremaine Williams took a shot. 3, 4, 5 seconds later, right? Again, they just squaring off within the ring. Tremaine, I'm not going to show the video because the video is tough to watch. He collapsed, started having convulsions, started having what looked like a seizure.
Mm-hmm.
Took the man to the hospital. Tremaine says that he was just dehydrated. Listen, I know what dehydration looks like. I didn't had heat stroke. I didn't been outside in the yard working in the grass, not drinking water like my wife told me to, and I didn't messed around and passed out. I know what heat stroke looked like. This man he didn't even get hit in the head.
Nah, if you see the video, it looks like he stepped. The referee breaks him up. Him up. He kind of about to regroup himself and gather himself, and then he collapses. And the collapse wasn't like I fall on my knee and I'm tired or I'm not. It's a collapse kind of like the guy in football for Buffalo Bills. He straight collapses.
Just straight went
falls
down.
Collapsed. And I was like, oh, smack. It's crazy. It's horrifying. And I did. Where you say he was dehydrated, that wasn't dehydration. I don't know if that was a murmur in his heart where he skipped a beat or something cut off. It wasn't from a punch. It wasn't from a punch at all. Because he was completely coherent when he was boxing and everything. So it wasn't a punch. I don't know what happened, man, but it was probably one of the most freakiest things I've ever seen in the sport in boxing. And I pray that brother's health is okay. I hope his health is okay. I hope he's able to resume boxing if that's what he continues to do. But from what I saw in that video, I would hope he doesn't box again. I would really hope he doesn't box, because if that situation happened in another fight, who knows how it could.
No, he won't come. So they reference another fight in May. Congolese boxer Ardi Ndembo, apologize if I'm mispronouncing his name, died from injuries he suffered in a team combat league fight in Florida. I didn't see that fight, but again, old school cats like you and me, remember the fight Roberto Duran. Remember Roberto Duran? Who was it?
I remember Ray Boom Boom Mancini when he killed Dooku Kim in the ring.
Remember that? Was it. That may have been it. That was no. Duran had a fight too. Duran had a fight too. Okay, but again, and the fight, we saw it. Right? Again, this was before tape delay and before all that other stuff. We saw that whole thing go down. That was immediately what I thought of when I saw this.
Yep. Ray, I mean, if you guys don't know, and I'm not a boxing historian, but I'm a boxing fan. Ray Boom Boom Mancini fought on CBS against Dooku Kim. He was a foreign boxer. He was a last minute guy that got in to fight Boom Boom Mancini. And Ray Boom Boom Mancini, unfortunately, he took his life in the ring. He took Dooku Kim's life in the ring with a series of blows to the head. And he collapses kind of just like this, and he never recovered. So that was on live TV, like you said, live TV, no way around it. And people don't think death affects people. Ray Boom Boom Mancini, he was a great boxer. He was never the same after that. Never. Yeah. Never. I mean,
that was it. Now that you said that was it.
Yeah. And rightfully so. He just could never. He killed a person that wasn't his intent at all. It wasn't his fault. He didn't do it like intentionally. It was just a boxing match in the high art of sport. But he did kill that person, man. And look it up on Google, you guys. Ray Boom Boom Mancini to show everything, man. But that was one of the most terrifying things we ever saw in boxing. And this probably was one. This is up in the top 5 I've ever seen in a situation where the dude just passes out in the middle of the ring for no reason. So I wish Williams health the best to get himself back to normal again.
He gonna be stubborn, and he gonna be stubborn and go back. He's not gonna read these tea leaves and say, "Listen, I know I wasn't dehydrated. I'm gonna tell everybody on my Instagram story. This man knocked me down and almost gave me permanent damage, but I'm gonna get back in the ring." I'm just saying. I just think that's gonna happen.
I don't think it was a punch though. I don't know. I encourage people, please go watch it, and you tell us your opinion. But he just collapsed. It was weird. It was like the weird, and he collapsed and he fell face forward, right? Yeah, he fell face forward, face down. So I'm not quite sure what. I don't think it was a knockout at all. I think, like you said, and the fact that he went into convulsions and all these different things, I'm not quite sure what was wrong with him. I wish the hospital report would come out, or the boxing coalition would request the whatever the doctor's report, so we can kind of know exactly what happened. But I don't think it was dehydration. There's no way. There's no way at all.
All right, I'm gonna show it. All right, so you have been warned, but I'm gonna show this video. Here go to fight. Couple of body blows, decent little fight. Boom, boom. Man, that's not right there. That's not dehydration.
No, not at all.
You right? Not even a solid hit to him, but 3-4 seconds later, he tries to react.
Body
Man,
froze and he just collapsed. Yeah.
you can't tell me that's just lack of water.
Yeah. Can you imagine
That's
somebody, the
lack
guy
of
would have
Gatorade.
connected?
No, you can't tell me
Yeah.
that.
Can you imagine if the guy would have connected on his way down with a couple of uppercuts? You know, could have been he could have been damaging, life threatening. To be all
Yeah,
honest with you. So
if he had kept swinging, right? Because it was
yeah,
rightfully so. He wasn't
yep,
down yet. He could have kept. If it was somebody like a Tyson or someone like a Mayweather, someone who gonna just keep wailing on you.
yep.
I
Crazy,
didn't
man.
like that at all. I didn't like seeing that at all. So boxing is a very aggressive sport. You gonna get hit. That's the job.
But you're not supposed to get collapsed when you're not getting hit.
Ooh, his camp is failing him.
Absolutely.
His folks around him are, again, here we go back to the same conversation of the folks around you are failing you. Yeah. Something wrong with Tremaine.
Yes. There's a health issue with Tremaine. There's a health issue that he needs to address, and it's not I think it's beyond dehydration. I'm not gonna say dehydration didn't contribute to it, but I'm saying it's beyond dehydration for him to collapse like that.
Yep.
Absolutely. So his camp is failing him. I agree 100%.
We're going to put that out there because we've been blowing up the social media airways. We're going to put that one out there too. And Marvin, we're going to make sure that your comment shows up on the screen when I put that out there. But that was that, man. That was just, that's crazy. Hope he gets better. Hope he gets what he needs to continue to be successful. Hopefully he don't get back in the ring, but he probably will. NBA draft is going on right now. I keep looking to the right because 17th pick just happened, and just speculation, right? It's just speculation. I'm glad. I'm actually glad Bronny didn't get picked. I'll just say that because that just
he's not projected. He's not projected to the second round. So
you just never know what's gonna happen in Los Angeles. So I was over here looking, but now I can pay attention to you and me and these stories. But I was looking 17th pick happened, and I'm just glad that I didn't see no Bronny James, and that we don't see that going across the ticker down there at the bottom. All right. He is not helping.
Wait. Wait, you gonna stay that? Why don't you want to see Bronny James on that ticker? Because
this is the reason why I said not yet. No, I don't care if I want him to get drafted tonight. No, but he come on.
Why not?
He is not.
His daddy, LeBron James, is the spoiledest player the NBA has ever seen. He's been able to manipulate every GM to get all the players he wants. He's been able to manipulate coaches to be fired.
Oh, okay, so we gonna go into that story now.
To be on his team, huh?
We can add this story into it too, right? JJ Redick, his podcast buddy, is now his coach. Bronny James is not the 17th best player in the NBA draft right now. I am glad that whomever had some sense.
And JJ Redick is not the number one coach who should have been selected by the Lakers. So what's your point?
JJ ain't got no coaching experience except for some U8, U12, right? Yep. But JJ played. There are differences. JJ's played. He's got a high IQ. I've heard him speak. I've seen, but again, there are better coaches. No, there are better coaches available than JJ Redick.
Absolutely.
I think this was an opportunity, whereas the captains on the Lakers had some influence, and I heard that LeBron didn't necessarily influence into, but I heard Anthony Davis did influence. Those are the two captains for the Lakers, but we know that's not true as well. We know that they had something to say.
LeBron James, as great as a player he is, he has influenced every organization to do what he's wanted to do, and when it's not done this way, he either bounces or he makes sure he gets rid of everybody in that organization he doesn't like. Let's be 100 with it from
No,
now
that's
on.
true. No, I agree with that.
LeBron James has been the spoiledest player in the NBA for the last 15, 20 years. He's been in the league. And the fact of the matter that I don't see no problem. They should have just went ahead and draft Brownie at 17 and got it out the way. Call it what it is, get it out the way. Let's just get him in here and let's call it a day so we get LeBron still. So all this other hoopla, like, you know, all that, man, they're gonna get Bronny in their camp because they want to make LeBron happy. Don't get me wrong. For business wise, it's the machine. You're supposed to do it. But the fact that JJ Redick, not that he got hired, I don't mind that part. But the fact that you didn't even interview Sam Cassell, you didn't interview Mark Jackson, you didn't interview Monty Williams, you didn't even interview none of those guys. You just gave it to him once old boy from Connecticut passed. You gave it to him. So the Lakers organization is foul again for catering to LeBron. And then now all of a sudden now, if the Lakers is not good now with Bronny and JJ Redick, then what's going to happen? You know, LeBron. Remember, they're trying to sign LeBron to a 3-year deal. 3-year deal. So they're doing everything to make him happy, which I don't necessarily agree with. But I mean, let's call a spade a spade. He's the most spoiled player that's probably ever played in the NBA, as far as with the front office.
Yeah, well, I will. And
these folks are. I'm not. I ain't saying could. The spoiledest player to ever play in the NBA has been LeBron James. Yes,
there's no doubt about that. And I was just going to say you're getting kudos and acknowledgments from the chat here. JJ should not be coach. He should have passed. He should have passed up Sam. Montell is speaking the truth. I know that they're going to pick Bronny,
but see, that's the wait. Don't misquote me. I'm not saying JJ doesn't deserve the job, but I'm saying they should have at least interviewed these other coaches that were more qualified than him to see if that was a possibility. Now, if JJ would have passed all the interviews and he still would have been the best, we can't say anything. Now, okay, cool, that's what they selected. But the fact of the matter, they didn't even give those guys a chance. Sam Cassell just came off winning the championship in Boston. Been assistant for 15 years and then won 3 championships himself. Okay, he's more experienced than anybody I know. Guess what? Jeff Van Gundy, who just signed with the Clippers, should have had a chance. He's a veteran coach. Guess what? Mark Jackson, we've seen what he could do with the Golden State Warriors. He should have chance.
Yeah, and I would like to see. You said Mark Jackson. I would have loved to see Mark Jackson get another opportunity.
Monty Williams, who's been a proven guy that's been able to build organizations over and over again, should have got a chance.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man, like the privilege is there, and it's the LeBron privilege. That's LeBron's boy. LeBron does a podcast with him every day, and I heard JJ Redick has a tremendous high IQ. He's a competitive guy. He wants to play, but I see this as a Steve Nash all over again. Remember, people forget Steve Nash. Remember Durant and Kyrie and all them wanted Steve Nash in New Jersey, and look at that debacle. Because not saying Steve Nash is not a good high IQ guy, he's never coached before. So with him never being able to coach before, guess what? He wasn't successful. JJ Redick has fallen into the same thing. And the common denominator between both of them, they're both white. White guys get a chance. They get white coaches. Let's call it what it is, man. Let's put it out there. White guys have gotten a chance to coach in the NBA without having any experience at all. And I'm saying it doesn't happen to black guys, but they have to go through a different scrutiny, right, to get there. Because I believe I don't think Mark Jackson coached before he took over the Warriors. If I'm not mistaken. I don't think so.
Not head coach, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying no coaching experience at all. JJ Redick, 0, and you get to go coach the Lakers. Come on, man.
How long you got? How long you think he got? So if the season ends up similar, if the season ends up with the exact same ranking, same positioning, with JJ at the helm.
Why? It's gonna be the same thing. LeBron.
Do they cut him like they did Monty?
No, because what's going to end up happening? He's going to stay. He gets a chance to stay because that's LeBron's boy. LeBron's still selling tickets at the end of the day, and Bronny's still going to be there. They'll just move some other pieces of puzzle. I don't think the Lakers are in the mode of building the championship. They're in the position to please LeBron, and there's a difference. You're not building for championships. You're in a position to please LeBron. That's
a big statement. But you know what? I think you're talking the truth. I really think, and no other team, none of the other teams are doing that.
Well, I mean, you please your stars. Don't get me wrong. It's gone on in the NBA a lot. but not to the point where it is, and it's so blatantly with LeBron, like to make demands. I want to play with my son, so I want to go with the team that drafts my son. I want this coach because he's my guy. You know, all these crazy demands that he has. He want. The only one that I saw Rob Pelinka kind of dismiss was when they were trying to trade at the midpoint of the season, when they were trying to get rid of D'Angelo Russell and Hachimura to try to get the kid from Murray from Atlanta. He was trying to get him, and he was trying to really push that, and it didn't go through. And mind you, the Lakers played well. Darvin Ham coached really, really well. He got him to the playoffs because remember, LeBron was hurt a lot of this year. He was injured a bunch of this year. And if he wasn't injured, Anthony Davis was injured. But they still managed to get themselves into the playoffs. Almost got themselves to the 6th spot. So to say that Darvin Ham can't coach is bad. That's Darvin Ham was coaching his tail off. But the fact that him and LeBron butted heads for whatever reason, he's gone after 2 years. And now you bring in a guy that has no coaching experience.
What
Not a little bit.
JJ coached like I said, U8, U10 girls.
Yeah.
And shouts out to him for that. But come on,
no,
at least something in college.
And like I said, I don't have no problem with him getting it. I have a problem with them not doing the due process of interviewing other coaches to give them an opportunity. That's the problem right there. Me personally, I told you, I think they should have went after Jason Kidd with all things blazing and buy his contract out and got him over at the Lakers. That would have been my number one. That would have been me if I was in that situation to do it. But for them, at least the second thing I would say, okay, we got to interview other guys and see their program. They got a little bit more experience and bring them on. And then I would have brought JJ on as an assistant. Absolutely. 100%. Bring him on as an assistant. But for a person that has no coaching experience
to be that guy,
he played in the league. Granted, he played in the league. He played at Duke. I'm pretty sure he's very bright, probably very cerebral in basketball knowledge and knows everything. And I'm sure he has the competitiveness. But again, all that doesn't equate to being a great coach. We saw it in Steve Nash. We saw this story already in New Jersey. We saw exactly how it happened. They said the same thing about Steve Nash. Competitive, high IQ, played in the league, dominating, all better guard than JJ Redick in the league. He had better weight. He's a Hall of. At least Steve Nash is a Hall of Famer. JJ Redick's not a Hall of Famer. So the fact that he did all those things and he had the endorsement from all those players, from Kyrie to Durant and all of them, we really want him. New Jersey hired him. It was the biggest debacle ever. None of those players that are in New Jersey none of those players that he brought in and endorsed him are even in New Jersey anymore, including Steve Nash is no longer the coach.
That's well, you speaking truth.
So
Marvin said you were a sniper tonight. That's true.
It was written on the East Coast. Now it's going to be written on the West Coast with JJ Redick. And no disrespect, man. I like JJ Redick. I hope he's successful. I think he's intelligent on the podcast. He's a good dude, but he can't rightfully tell me that he deserved that job over other people that are more qualified than him, that are better suited for that job. And like I said, if he out interviewed him and he did everything and everybody felt wonderful and he's the guy to pick, that's like we're having a different conversation. The fact that you didn't even give those other guys even a chance to interview the job or even inquire about them, that's where I have a problem.
Yeah, that's got to be one heck of an interview, to be honest with you. Right, for the team for the franchise that has the second most banners hanging in their rafters, that had to be one heck of an interview.
And this is the crazy part. Somebody out there in the media was talking about he could be the next Pat Riley.
I didn't hear that. No, hold on. We let's stop it all that blasphemy.
I'm serious. It was somebody on ESPN Network said he could possibly be the next Pat Riley, what he brings to the table. I don't see that and think this is a different day and age in basketball than from when Pat Riley came in to what's going on now. Completely different age, completely thing. So he's not the next Pat Riley. He's the first JJ Redick. Number one, so you shouldn't compare. And number two, I don't see, with no experience, man, I don't see it. I mean, he's going to have to hire a hell of a staff to surround him, right? A hell of a staff to be able to surround him and for him to be the face of the franchise and do it and get those guys to play for him. Because let's remember, JJ
Williams. If JJ called you, you were Monty Williams, would you take the job?
Yes, I would. Because I'm unemployed and I want to be around the game and I want to do it. And I think I can add some value to get myself back into being a head coach. And two, I can help turn around this franchise. I'm not dismissive of somebody asked me to be a part of it. I'm just saying the Lakers front office, the Lakers owning Jeanie Buss and them, they've done a bad job on this one. They've done a bad job of just handling LeBron and this whole LeBron situation, period, since day one, in my opinion. Like, who's the owner, who's not? Don't get me wrong. You appease to your player. You appease to your star player. Don't get me wrong. If I'm drafting somebody, LeBron's in the room. If we're making a trade, LeBron, what you think about making this trade? We're considering doing it. But all you are providing is input. You're not providing final decision. You're providing input. Just like we do an interview. You have a panel of people to interview. Everyone provides their input. Then we come to a collective decision. I think this is a decision that the Lakers made via LeBron. Let's keep LeBron. And business-wise, makes sense, right? Sell seats. If we get LeBron here and we draft Brownie, guess what? Father duel, the greatest player, one of the greatest players to ever play in the game. People will come.
It's another good story. Yeah, it's another good story.
Blah blah blah. It's going business-wise. It makes all the sense in the world. Let's make sure we got to keep LeBron and keep him around, and let's get his son here and all that. I'm just saying, man. At one point, when are people going to start being honest with the fans and just telling us, "Hey, we're making sound business decisions, and we want to keep LeBron here."
Well, we've talked about it, and you may have started the statement that it probably will never happen because the dollars and cents at this level are so out of understanding for us, for common folk, right? When we start talking multi-million dollars per year, when we start talking 18, 20, 25, however $1 million to play a game per year, it's just a whole different type of conversation. It's money that is unfathomable to a high percentage of society. So we'll never understand this.
No,
I'm gonna make a handful of dollars in my day, but you know what? I'm not gonna make that kind of dollars.
Yeah, we gotta think about the TV money, right? Like you like the story, right? What better the story than Bronny and his father's playing on the same
team? That's gonna be dope. Listen, that's gonna be dope.
What better stories when they first get on the court and play with each other? But what better dialogue? Bronny's in, his dad's in power forward and Bronny's playing the off guard, and they on the same lineup and they playing in the same game with each other.
In Los Angeles. I mean,
in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's huge.
So I think that's an amazing story, and that's an amazing feat by LeBron and all that. But for the Lakers organization, again, I think you're building around pleasing LeBron instead of building for a championship. That doesn't make your team necessarily better by doing that.
Yeah, because I don't think within 3 years, and I know the story that they're trying to sign up to a 3-year contract. I don't think they have the pieces in place within 3 years to get that trophy.
Yeah, it's too many guys and too many teams out there that are really making some really dynamic moves that are ahead of the Lakers. And I'm not saying their decision. I don't say JJ Redick and getting Bronny is a bad decision. I mean, I just don't think it's the right moves to put them in that upper echelons to make them great. I think that it puts you in a great situation to make LeBron happy. So I think the Lakers are weighing LeBron's happiness over building for a championship. It's tilted. The scales are tilted. I think it's see the scales are tilted. However you go.
And when you tilt them scales over there, brother, let me lean back. Let me lean with you while you tilt them scales. Dan says the Lakers need an ambassador to talk Lakers culture and bring people in after he is gone. So, is that Bronny? No. Is that Bronny?
No, I mean, after LeBron's gone, it's a different ball game and a different legacy of the Lakers after he's gone. But right now, while he's here and he's playing at such a high level and he's still one of the most dominant players in the league, I mean, yeah, you have to appease him. You really do. But you have to build the right pieces around him. And I think you got to have a coach that's going to be ready for that transition, right? Not a coach that's going to ride him until his contract's out. A coach is going to be able to say, hey, we're getting to that transition. A coach is going to say, hey, LeBron, you know what? We got to tailor those minutes down, man. We're getting to they have to be somebody to steer. JJ Redick is his friend, is his buddy, his homeboy.
Yeah.
So he's going to appeal to whatever LeBron has to appeal. What happens when JJ makes a wrong decision and calls the wrong play? This is a crucial game. Is LeBron going to get pissed off at him, or or can the Lakers fans endure a teachable, coachable moment while they're trying to fight for the playoffs?
Can you separate that, right? Can you separate church and state when these types of dollars are on the line? I don't think that they can, because right, again, we talked about this whole social media world, right? Yeah, we got a podcast too, but again, when you are making $100 million and your friend is now your coach, also making $100 million, and every Tuesday you have a podcast and you talk about sports, now he's your boss. That's a
It's a
blurry line, brother. That's a blurry
it's a
line.
crazy it's a crazy dynamic. But I just
That's a
believe
blurry line.
I just believe from and you got to think that now this even gets deeper. So now on the ally side of when a trade needs to be done or a situation needs to happen or something needs to be shaken within the lineup of the team, guess who has the biggest ally when he wants that decision? LeBron. I don't feel AD's playing good, man. Maybe we should trade him. I'm just giving a hypothetically or whatever situation we need to get rid of him. The coach is gonna be like, man, we need to do what LeBron said. You know, we need to figure out what LeBron's doing. When is JJ gonna be able to draw that line with that situation? It's gonna be very, very difficult. And I just think the Lakers just set themselves up. Like I said, this story hasn't been written. It's been written before it happened in New Jersey. We thought that was gonna all work with them dudes, and Steve Nash was gonna be the guy and be great, and it just ended up being a straight debacle. You know, not saying it was all Steve Nash's fault. Kyrie had his problems and all that stuff as well in that thing, but the fact that he has never been in a head coach position to be able to hold that together, right? The division of the team. He wasn't in it. He didn't know how to hold that together, and it showed on the court. I think JJ is going to probably be set up in that same scenario. I hope he's not, man. I mean, I'm not wishing bad for JJ, man. Congratulations on getting the job. I'm just saying the Lakers organization. I'll point the finger at the local Lakers organization, not JJ Redick. It's not his fault that he got the job. It's not. Really, they could have said no and not hired him, but they did. So the Lakers organization really needs to have the microscope on them. And LeBron, I mean, I'll double down on him. He's the most spoiled player that we've seen in the NBA ever.
So, two questions here. One, I'll go backwards. Will JJ actually bench LeBron if he's not performing to
nope,
standards?
He's in a slump. He's going to get over it.
Oh, my God. He gonna let him play out? Oh, my gosh.
Hell yeah.
JJ Redick would get murdered on, and again, it doesn't mean anything, but he'd get murdered on social media and in that press room after the game. LeBron out there.
Okay.
10 turnovers.
Explain this to me though.
4 points.
You JJ Redick. You JJ Redick. You making $100 million now. Do you care what social media or anybody's going to say?
I was going to say, listen, hey, JJ dropped some words during his press interview when he got the job, and he told folks that JJ said some things, and he was like, I don't really care about you or anybody that look like you. I got this money, and I got direct deposit, and I am the guy. So, I mean, he's got that swagger about him. So yeah, he can probably fend for himself.
Yes.
But
he's got the tough skin to be able to endure those things. I don't think that's going to be a problem for him. I think the problem is going to be the Lakers organization when they're supposed to be committed to excellence, right? And they're competing with the Celtics to try to get another title. Right now, you're not. It doesn't look like you're building to do that. Right now, maybe they're smarter than us in the basketball queue. I don't know, but it doesn't look like on the surface you're building to do that. A first-time head coach has never coached before. You have an aging superstar. You're talking about drafting the aging superstar's son, who only averaged, I think, 4 or 5 points at USC last year.
Yeah.
You know. So
you're talking about I've seen Bronny players on Instagram. I ain't seen it. Listen,
So what I'm saying, you're not saying Bronny's not going to be a good player, but I'm saying you're talking about drafting him to appease your aging superstar. You really don't have any draft picks. I think you have 2. You really don't have any leverage to make any trades, and you really haven't been active in free agency as of yet. We haven't seen what you're going to do. So you signed Austin Reeves to this big contract, and you're trying to unload him now. The talent that you had before you brought LeBron in are all-stars pretty much. Brandon Ingram, John Randall, and the list goes on. The boy in D.C., Kuzma, and all those guys have had successful careers outside of Lakers and were great players. So you had the super team that you drafted that was coming through the draft. You got rid of all of them to bring LeBron in. And now we're left with no picks, band-aiding everything together with some of these other free agents is costing us a lot of money. And we're talking about drafting his son, who's been unproven, at least at the collegiate level, to come in and help us win right now. Because Bronny's not coming in you to help you win. It's just coming in you to help you please LeBron.
Coming in,
he's not
coming in to fill seats. That's all he's coming in for, and that's the reality, I think, folks. But again, it's just expensive. I guess that's the thing that I'm saying. That's why I kept saying I was happy that he didn't get 17, because that's just an expensive decision to make. When again, you trying to When you just got overtaken by Boston, they got 18. Now you got 17. When you try, right, Laker culture, you want to get back on top. But listen, Denver gonna be back. The Joker gonna be back. Giannis gonna. There's some teams out there that are gonna be hot next season and gonna be
In the
after
West,
you.
man, you got Dallas is going to be better. Denver's going to be good. Clippers are going to should be good depending on what they sign, depending on how their free agency goes. They should be A-okay.
Listen, hey, as good
Sacramento's
as Russell
up and
Westbrook
coming.
is feeling right now, as good as Russell, I saw him on
Yeah,
stage
yeah,
at the
yeah.
Kendrick concert.
I
As
mean,
good as he feeling.
you got OKC who's going to be good. Again, you got the Warriors are still hanging around. You got Sacramento coming up. You got Houston coming up. You got Phoenix that should be good again. They should have if they bring their players back. You got San Antonio coming back. The West is loaded. And not to mention that John Morant's gonna be back. John Morant's gonna be back in Memphis, and Minnesota's gonna be back. So out of all those teams I just named right there, you got about there's 10 teams right there fighting that's gonna be jiving. 6 of those teams are gonna make it, then you got 4 playing for the play-in. And right now, I don't even know if the Lakers can make the play-in right now. As of right now, as we currently sit, if they can make the play-in. With everybody making their move. It's just gonna be that tough, man. I'm not
and Anthony Davis is always hurt. Anthony Davis, Mr. Glass, he ain't gonna
Yeah. And then you got again, Father Time is undefeated. LeBron doing a good job. He's taking him the distance, but Father Time is undefeated. So God forbid that anything happens to LeBron or whatever goes on with him, that he doesn't miss a lot of games because they're gonna need him to win. But the Lakers got to build that bench up, man. And AD, we know AD, he's good for 60 games, but after that, now we question what's going on.
A lot more games in the NBA than 60.
And then we already see what Jokic does to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis plays him good for 1 or 2 games, but when that series goes, Jokic puts that body on him, he just can't handle it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like I said, they're building to make LeBron happy. They're not building to win championships. That's period. End of it right there.
Yeah, it is. Man. I need some sound effects for that one right there. That's that. I'm
Hey, that's the LA anthem, man. Don't play that.
Boy, hey, man. Okay, we can talk about that too, because I'm still vibing off of that whole pop out. So okay,
yeah.
And yeah, I mentioned when Russell Westbrook, never seen Russell Westbrook smile as much as he did when he was on that stage, boy.
Mm-hmm. Him and DeRozan, boy, they was getting it, man.
Boy, they was getting it, but neither here nor there. We just see. 22 is on the clock. That would be them Phoenix Suns. And we will see what's going on. So far, things are going pretty much as expected on the draft. Let's make sure I got all the comments locked in as well, so folks are commenting. Listen, I see you over there on Twitter too. I see you. You can leave comments. Don't be bashful. Don't be bashful. We are live streaming over there as well as well over here on YouTube. Tell somebody, come join us live every Wednesday. Team No Sleep, Social Impact of Sport. Man, I don't really want to talk about this next. I really don't want to talk about just because, again, this is a broken record. This CeCe Telfer story. Maybe let's wrap it in this whole context. I think here's a good way to do it. Okay, this is happening on the fly. The Olympics. We got some folks that have been identified as going. Sha'Carri is going to get her chance. Sha'Carri been killing them. She been leaving everybody behind her. She been showing out there on the track. So shouts out to her for going out there and gonna get that revenge, that vengeance. You're going to get that opportunity that she has been denied as of late. Mm-hmm. We got some other young cats that are out there running, and some up-and-comers that are out there doing some things. One in particular was young dude Quincy Wilson. Quincy Wilson, 16-year-old. Let me refresh this so we can see the picture of the young brother right there. Quincy Wilson, 16 years old, out there doing his thing, running, breaking records, beating folks, going through qualifications, was darn near there. So close, right? He was making folks really, really look twice because he was out there doing it at 16 years old. But unfortunately, he doesn't qualify, at least in the 400 meter. Hopefully he has some other races that he can get into. But I'm loving the story again of this young kid, this young fan favorite coming out there doing his thing and putting people on notice at 16 years old and beating grown folks. So hopefully he still has some opportunity to get out there and punch a ticket to Paris. But I know the 400 was his event, his primary event. Yeah, young and smoking folks out there, right? So hopefully it all changes. But as of right now, Quincy Williams is going to have to wait for another 4 years. We'll see. We talked about breaking. You know, I'm gonna watch my breaking. What going on right now with all of this preliminary? Are you even watching it, or are you just gonna wait until next month when it all shakes out?
I watched this qualifying race, Quincy's qualifying race, man, to get into the finals. You know, he's dynamic, man. He's gonna be. He's got a great charisma about himself. He's young. You know, he handled himself really, really well. You know, as far as his interview concerned, and when he was running. So excited. I'm sad he didn't make it. I mean, I hope he can become an alternate, maybe on the 4x4 team, or something like that. But shout out to him. Yeah, mm-hmm. I watched a lot of the track and fields. The heptathlon, I think.
I know. Say that 4 or 5 times backwards.
Yeah, heptathlon. That one was a good event I watched, and then obviously, you know, the 100, and you know, and then I like the best important thing, or the most intriguing thing I saw the whole Olympic trials was when 4x1 women's team, they was like, we ready for Jamaica.
Yeah,
like they want to Jamaica.
Listen, that's gonna be must see TV right there. I'm gonna have popcorn and hot dogs. Dad, make sure you come over for that day because we gonna watch that. We gonna watch that.
Yeah, that's gonna be something special right there. Them going against the Jamaican team, that's gonna be dope. And then, you know, obviously basketball, boxing, was gonna be good. Women's and men's basketball should be great. I'm still waiting for them to fill that last woman's spot in basketball to see who's gonna, you know, replace old girl that blew her knee.
Yeah.
For the Lakers. Wish her speedy recovery. Liberty's gonna be pretty good this year, man. I think we're gonna be well represented in a lot of facets of getting medals this year. The only one that was sad, also the sad one, was the woman shot putter that didn't qualify. I forgot her name. She didn't qualify. She's been trying for some years and she didn't qualify. That was pretty sad moment, but otherwise, man, and the one young lady that fell. I think she runs the 400 too. The one she fell down and she tried to appeal it, but it didn't go through, so she didn't make it. So I mean, it had some ups and downs, man, like it should be, right? Going for the trials, everybody trying to get that ultimate dream. These were the situations that happened, man. But I mean, all in all, man, I think the United States is going to be well represented.
Yeah, it's drama, and I'm gonna say, along with that, I thought it was interesting that Alex Morgan didn't get selected to the U.S. women's soccer team. First time since late 90s, so that she's not represented. Yeah. I think it was Rodman's daughter. I'm not sure, but I know the next generation is coming up. So, you know, one of the old school superstars, Alex Morgan, didn't make the cut. So, I mean, that's a whole shift in the dynamic. Okay, we'll go ahead and get into this story now. But again, it kind of falls in a line with this story right here, right? We're talking about athletes. We're talking about athletes qualifying at the top level, at the highest level. And here we have another conversation about an athlete who didn't make it, didn't win, right? Just wasn't good, didn't meet the cut. CeCe Telfer is a transgender athlete who has won a lot on the NCAA side, but is not going to be able to represent the country at the Olympics. All right, she didn't win enough races, didn't win qualifying races, but this is CeCe Telfer right here, and she is saying that she's not going to let this setback deter her. She's going to go to all the indoor tournaments and try to wipe all of the record books clean and put her name on it. Again, it's a bigger conversation than just I didn't make it. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna try my best next time. I gave it the old college try. It's a conversation again around an athlete who wants to identify one way, wants to compete another way, but the NCAA has to figure out how they're going to deal with CeCe Telfer because they haven't actually said how they're going to address transgender athletes. NCAA has said that they are going to fall in line with the Olympic Committee, U.S. Paralympic and U.S. Olympic Committee, and what they decide. We've been talking about this for months. We got 30 more days for them to come up with a decision. Right, right. It's still not out there yet. So there's still no set standard, still no set precedent in terms of how the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic team is going to deal with or address transgender athletes. And here we've got one athlete who has failed to qualify, has lost some races, and now can't go. Now wants to go and blow up all the races in the indoor competitions. We'll see. I don't know about this, man. But again, this is just messy right here. Right. It was nice and kind of tidy and kind of neat. But now this right here adds a whole different kind of layer to it. And see, this now it's starting to get messy.
It's going to get messy.
CeCe Telfer?
It's going to get dirtier and messier. We've talked about it 3,000 times how I feel about it personally.
Yeah.
I think that the issue is not only is going to become from how the how the Olympic Committee handles it, but we also going to have to figure out Title IX, which no one's talking about Title IX. How does this affect Title IX? So, people that don't know, Title IX means a number of you have to have the same number of male athletes on scholarship as you have female athletes on scholarship. Well, now we have transgenders. Which bucket do they fall under if they're going to be on scholarship? Do you have the same number of transgenders within there, or do you, how does that play within the Title IX dilemma? So and we haven't had the issue yet, but it's going to come up. I guarantee you, it's going to come up. Like we've been way ahead of this, it's going to come up. So how does this affect Title IX, and where does it place it? And does an athlete that comes in and says I identify as a woman fall under the women buckets and take more scholarships away from naturally born women, and vice versa? Does a woman that identifies as a male takes away scholarships from naturally born men, or do they have a completely new category for transgender people that identify differently from their biological birth? This just brings more of the ugliness and the dirtiness that's going to come out of this. And I don't. Again, should her records, or should anything she breaks, should it be constituted as a record under the women's category, even though she ran against women?
Oh, should she get an asterisk? Is what you're saying? Should she have an asterisk?
I don't know if it should be. I'm asking the question. I'm not stating. I don't know. Should it be?
Wow.
I tell you what.
Let's do this. Let's do this. And they don't know that I'm gonna do this. Marvin, you in the comments. I'd love you to reach out to your family members who are involved in collegiate sports and those that have excelled at collegiate sports from a track and field perspective. And we would love to have them on the show, or just to provide a comment about this particular situation. I'm not saying names, I'm not outing folks, but Marvin, I know you there, so I'm talking to you. Let's chat offline about that. And the reason I bring that up is because Marvin has some family members who lived through track and field at the collegiate level and excelled, and literally were on that field competing and winning against everyone. And I would be interested to know how they feel about it, because we're third person looking in, right? We're giving our Monday morning quarterback, we're giving our opinion, we're giving our Stephen A. Smith. But someone who has been there, someone who is still there now that they're a professional, would love to get that context. Because again, this is, we talked to her, did we? Oh well, yeah, but that was unofficial. I want to get the child on the show. Come on now. I'm trying to get the child.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to reach. I would like to reach out to a current student athlete too, that's a track person as well, that's actually in it, and get their opinion on it. And I think the old cliche is it doesn't matter, or I don't care. That's not the answer. That's not the answer. The answer is, what are we going to do? I'm not saying they shouldn't be allowed to compete. I'm just saying, for a biological man that identifies as a woman to compete against girls, and then you're breaking all these records and everything, there needs to be some situation where they have to put some regulations or some framework around it where it makes sense. Right now, it doesn't make sense, and vice versa. It's just they got to really do something to figure it out. And then, like I said, the next level is you're going to have to figure out the Title IX issue. Where does that fall under? You know, because you got to think, put yourself in this situation. If you had a daughter just up for a scholarship or athletic scholarship, and then they offer it to a transgender person, a male that identifies as a female, is that fair that your daughter got her scholarship taken away from that person when it was supposed to be made for a female track star or a female
Listen,
volleyball
this
player?
is a sensitive conversation, but again, folks are dodging bullets, and man, I got to stop using these acronyms. But you know, are dodging the conversation, dodging the sensitive conversation. Somebody's got to have the conversation.
They're gonna have to have the uncomfortable conversation because now it's not. Hey, we gotta wait a year. No, it's now. It's here. It's now.
Man,
Right
it's
now.
29 days.
It's
The
happening
Olympics
right
is
now.
here in
So
29 days.
I'm not so concerned about what the Olympics do, or I'm more interested in how NCAA is going to address this issue. And them just saying waiting for the Olympics. Okay, fine. Do whatever the Olympics do. Well, from what I understand, Olympics says you can't compete if you're transgender. So you're gonna say that person can't compete. So now you're gonna have yourself in a lawsuit with that situation. And now, like I said, it's gonna even trickle down more. Where does it fall under the Title IX and the scholarship opportunities? Where does this all of a sudden fall in that bucket? Because we're going to come up on a recruiting cycle right now, about to come up right now. They're going to start offering kids for track and all that. Where do they fall into that? Do you offer a person that's transgender, and that takes away again from a biological person that was male or female? How does a parent feel about that? Is that a lawsuit? Does that fall under Title IX? Is that an exception to Title? Where is all? I have no idea how it falls, and I'm asking the question. Where does all this place, and how does this fall? And how does this makeup change the landscape of college sports? Because it's going to change.
It is. All right, man. That's we went into it. I knew we'd find a way. Hopefully, we did it tactfully, but we got into that. You know, the Olympics, Quincy, CeCe, figure out how this works. But it's the 11th hour. NCAA and U.S. Olympic team. You got 29 days to get. Let me ask you this, okay? We're gonna bring this plane in with this because we covered a lot. And I probably know this answer, but I'm throwing this one on you. Are you watching kind of the up and comers in some different sports? I know you're really attached to football and watching, the young cats come up through those ranks, but we talk basketball a lot. Are you watching the like the U18s, the young players, for especially the women's side? Are you watching any of the young women come up? Not this year's freshman WNBAs, not even the seniors at college, but the ones coming up after them. That next generation. You
Yeah,
watching any of that?
absolutely, man. I think if I can figure
You
it,
watching any of
if
this
I
right
can get her
here?
name.
You
What's
watching
that?
you watching any of this FIBA U18 championship?
I watched a little bit of the highlights. I didn't get a chance to watch it.
I tell you what you need to watch. Let me tell you what you need to watch. I'm just gonna throw this on you because you wasn't ready for this. You need to
Yeah.
watch our squad. Because let me tell you what our squad is doing. Our squad played Brazil on Monday, beat them 97-51. Okay.
Yes.
Tuesday, our squad played Puerto Rico, 102-22. Okay. That's not a mistype. Wednesday went out and said, you know what, Mexico, whoa, 115-20. Come
You
on
made me
now.
laugh, man. You didn't even watch girls basketball.
But when I was pulling this story, I was cracking up because I was laughing at you. I was laughing at me, laughing at you because you the one that turned me on to these women folks. Friday played the Dominican Republic, 125-27.
Yeah.
That's a final.
Yeah.
U18. These women are the truth, y'all. I don't know no dudes that are playing. I don't know no guys that are playing or getting drafted, but I am watching these women, and these women are killing them.
I would encourage anyone out there that likes basketball to watch a WNBA game. There's a different appreciation for it.
109-32 against Argentina. Come on, that's embarrassing.
Well, I mean, you also got to think, man. We're like our youth are light years ahead of all these Latin countries when it comes to women's basketball. We're light years ahead, man. I mean, our kids are actually they're competing at a high level. Where I still think countries like that are still based on soccer. Women's soccer is probably the biggest one in volleyball. for a lot of, especially Brazil's women's volleyball, which is the big thing. Female basketball is really big in the United States, huge, and it's only getting bigger. Just like I think flag football is going to be a huge women's sport as well coming up.
Flag football going to be hot. Yeah,
it's going to be big. So I think we're there, man. We're there. It's just growing and growing and growing. Congratulations to all those ladies, man. Congratulations for all the winning. But I can tell you right now, La Jolla Country Day High School in San Diego, California, is probably one of the top women-female programs in the nation.
That's the one.
Coach Benford and her squad is doing it every year. They're always in state. She always puts people out to colleges. And old girl from Las Vegas, Kelsey.
Don't say Kelsey Plum because I'm a Kelsey Plum fan now. Okay.
Yeah, that's La Jolla Country Day, man. She come from La Jolla Country Day.
Oh my God.
So that shout out to them, man. They're one of the national top female basketball squads. So I always look at her squad every year. Who's coming out? Who's the best players? She has two phenomenal players that are Arizona right now, University of Arizona. I forgot their names. Her last name is Williams. She's dope. She's a dope guard, and they got the center that's there. They both started as true freshmen, so they're gonna be on the up and coming, man. I pay attention, man. I try to keep my nose to the grind.
All right. But, I just brought this story up because I wanted you to let you know. I ain't worried about anybody else. I wanted you to know that I pay attention. You put me on this game, and I'm letting you know that I'm staying attentive to this sport.
That's like you hit me to the World Cup. Remember, you hit me to the World Cup.
But listen. This is we out here doing it. We bringing value to each other, man. We did what we needed to do tonight, folks. I'm drinking my 49-mile straight bourbon. Shouts out to them, Marvin. I sent you the link. Hopefully, you connected with them. They sponsored us. We need to get some more, and we need to talk to all of our sponsors and make sure that they find value in what we do. Bronny ain't been called yet, but it's only the first round. I know. Yeah. I'm picking it. Yeah. I'm picking. I know. Take us home, brother. Take us home. I think we did what we needed to do.
Absolutely. Shout out to Sly for sponsoring as well. Sly energy drink for gamers. Shout out to them. Also, man. Again, if you know anybody going through any situation or they have suicidal thoughts or suicide behavior, please dial 988 on your cell phone for you to talk to them or them to talk to them to be able to hopefully calm them down and figure out a different resolution. Otherwise, man, be blessed. Please reach out to your loved ones and friends, and please also be comfortable having uncomfortable conversations because that's how we learn.
Montell and James, bringing the heat, team no sleep, with champions meet, we're on the mic, taking over the game, no time for rest, no scrambling for fame. Talking sports, breaking it down from the court to the field, all around town, we stay up all night, grinding on the mic, bringing news, real stories.